This is crazy. You're tuned into the show
that informs, improves, and inspires racers everywhere.
The Northwest Race Report. The Northwest Race Report is brought to you by O'Hagan's Kart Supply, Lebanon, Oregon. You want to win? O'Hagan's wants to help. And by True Tech Automotive, Hazeldale, Washington. Get your car, truck, or tow rig repaired the right way, the True Tech way. And by Scott Seal Coat and Striping, Federal Way. For over 25 years, whether you're sealing or striping, you can count on Scott. And by Southern Oregon's karting headquarters, Speed City LLC, keeping racers on track with quality support and friendship. You're tuned into the Northwest Race Report exclusively at terrybridges.com. And now back to your horsepower and performance hosts, Terry Bridges and Glenn Lippy Tower. Oh, what is going on, racers? I'm your horsepower and performance host, Terry Bridges. And in the house, I got my homies. We were just listening to some rap music. We'll have to tell you all about that coming up. Jeffy says... But I got the best dudes in the house with me, man. Glenn Lippy Tower, what's going on, Lip?
It's all good in the hood tonight.
Absolutely it is. We got some cool news that Lippy just did. We're going to let you know tonight early on in the show. And my main man, the loader, Jeff Eaton. What's going on, Jeffrey?
Hey, I can see the screen.
Dude,
yes, you can.
We got to tell you, before we get going, before Lippy gives you the P1s, the loader, he went, well, you tell it. You got the good story. You tell it.
I've been sitting there squinting at this monitor for a year now.
or more.
Or more, yeah. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, we got to talking one day, and he says, well, if we could get a TV with a HDMI, we could put it. So I went and I found a 32-inch Sanyo for $50 on Facebook, and we have a monitor now.
Dude,
you can read it downstairs from here.
It's an in-your-face monitor. We love it, though. We love it. It's awesome.
Is so flipping cool. So right on to the loader for hooking us up. We got a 32-inch. I mean, it's like a jumbotron, man. It's like freaking amazing.
It is awesome.
It is. It's like the jumbotron here in the studio. And Jeff came in today, and I go, dude, you got to come and check this out. He goes, man, I am. I'm getting massaged right now, but I'll be there shortly. Okay. So he walks in. He goes, holy cow, this is cool. Yeah, this thing is bigger than life itself. I mean, we're talking. I'm looking at P1, and I'm seeing Dan Watkins with the letter H, and that H is like 6 feet high and 10 feet. No, I'm kidding. But it's pretty cool. So who you got P1, buddy?
Yeah, Dan Watkins rolling it down. Joe Ransom, nice job coming in second. And Brent
Look at Swires. Look
at
Swires.
Swires comes in number 4. Scott, and then Sean Carr, Daryl Kelso, Kyle Kelso, and Culver, sorry.
Yep,
and,
that's good.
Dave Chisholm, Brian Williamson, and Scott Keeney rounding out the top 10.
Ooh, baby, that's awesome. Look at Ryan Swires getting in that 4th spot, man. That's pretty awesome. He says, hey, gang, what is going on? Here's what I want to say right out of the gate. We got a good show for you tonight. Our Blue Line Graphics in the seat guest is going to be none other than Aaron Stanford, who did all the planning and all the stuff for the road race Grandnationals. I thought he was an appropriate candidate to have on the show. But let me just say, off of the gate, we do not realize. What are you looking for, Lip?
Pencil, but don't let me discourage.
Oh no, you're fine. I kind of moved them over here. By the way,
don't spill my Speedway.
Yeah. By the way, every week we usually have some sort of ale in the house, or we have something that we sit in with the show. And I want to tell you, if you go to, what is it, Beer,
Wine,
and Beyond, AleSmith makes a Speedway Stout, Imperial Stout with coffee. I'm telling you, it's 12%.
It has checkered flags on it.
And the bottle's cool. It looks like a wine bottle, doesn't it?
It does.
It was $12.
It's awesome.
But I said, I'm going to try this out. Jeff, no, not so much. He's having a Sessions watermelon wheat ale tonight. But Lippy and I are having the AleSmith Speedway Stout.
Good stuff.
So at the end, if I'm still the only one talking, you know why.
This could happen.
I might have a Facebook Live post going here.
But I'm telling you what, it's really good stuff. So if you get a chance to try it, it's by AleSmith, and it's called Speedway Stout. And it's got the 2 checkered flags. It comes in about a wine bottle size. It's like $12. Boy, is it good. But with that being said, I want to say one thing, and this is very, very serious. I was at the Road Race Grandnationals last week, and we do a lot of stuff on the show about speedway stuff. Ryan Diotti, Stephen Chase, Brad Berg, The Rocket, Ronnie Cox, Uncle Chuck, Kevin Bridges. I mean, there's just
Renee Angel.
Yeah, Renee Angel. I mean, there's just a lot of really good UAS wheels, and we tend to focus a lot on that. But I want to say one thing. I went 4 days to the Road Race Grandnationals. The week before, I was 4 days at the Quarter Midget Grands. But I want to say one thing. I knew that the Hagers were really big into road racing. But you know what? We take that for granted because we don't go to a lot of them. We don't get to see what's going on there. And I'm here to tell you, for 4 days, Chris Hager, Ryan Hager, Cole Hager, I mean, it didn't matter. It was the Hager Road Race Grandnationals. I mean, they were awesome. And you forget just how good Chris Hager and the whole Hager clan really are road racing. Can you feel me maybe a little bit on that?
Yeah, very much so.
And we don't get to see them in action, but they do the very same thing that we think Diotti and Chase and Brad Berg and Renee Angel and Milton Singleton and Anna Singleton, the whole Kevin Bridges, the Rocket, Ronnie Cox, Uncle Chuck. They do the same thing in road racing like those people do speedway. They do it with the ease and the grace and the just sheer understanding. They know and they understand what they're doing, and they make it look quite easy.
They're a phenomenal bunch out there, and it's not just their racing quality they bring to the races, it's their product quality that they bring to the races and their support that they bring to the races. One thing I noticed just walking through the pits when we were over there at the Gold Cup was very well put together and very well managed over there in the Hager pit.
It was. But they do it with the same ease that we say Diotti does. He jumps in his ride, and he goes out and he does his thing, and we go, wow, it's amazing. But we forget that Hagers are road racers, and they are synonymous with road racing. And I knew that. I mean, for as far as I can remember, the Hagers were synonymous with road racing. Whether Dave Schultz was there, whether, some of the guys with Dave Peel with the BM-130s or Bill Shields, who worked there for decades with Terry Hager, probably when Chris was just growing up. You forget just how good these guys really are. And I just want to say to Terry Hager, to Chris Hager, the whole Hager clan, and I'm not taking anything away from the other racers that were there at the event. I'm just saying, until you get to see Chris Hager in his 100% in his area of expertise, you forget how good he is. I mean, it's that simple.
Well, and a lot of it too. Still, and it comes to repetition. And if that's, you're a road racer, you go road racing, and your people all do the same thing, so that makes that makes that all look easy.
It does. And they make it look easy. And they make it look as easy, and they do it as effortless and as skillful as we think Diotti and Ronnie Cox and Renee Angel and Milton Singleton and Anna Singleton and everybody and the Lawrences, they do the same thing for road racing that those guys do for speedway. And it's awesome. And it was just one of those things where I looked back and I said, holy cow. We all look at Hager when he runs the speedway stuff, and we tend to forget this isn't his area of expertise. I mean, it's not. They do it for fun. They do it in the winter. They do it,
Gives them something else to do.
Yeah. They do the road race deal. And you know what? They're as good as anybody in our speedway division is that does it all the time.
Yeah, and that's
and I just wanted to say a lot of times that gets swept under the rug, and I just thought it was important to make sure that we're clear on that. I mean, there's just no doubt.
Definitely, they're definitely a supporter of kart racing, and it really doesn't matter. And I guess just looking back to see what they're doing with the 450s as far as coming up with the belt drive systems that are a step above anybody else's right now out there, and they're in for the long haul, and they always have been, and that's the best part of them. They're good people, and they're very, very, very competitive racers.
Well, I saw the smile on Terry Hager's face. Thursday night I went, and I did the main trophy presentations there. There wasn't much announcing to do. I mean, you can only see part of the track, so it was really hard. But it was still neat seeing everybody there. I saw Dennis Critchley, who is an absolute stud in the 250 class. He had some troubles, but still, you look at these guys, and I looked at Terry Hager's face when his sons were winning. His mom got a buckle. They gave one to his brother. I mean, these guys just win effortlessly. And the smile on Terry Hager's face was really cool because, hey, here we are in our repertoire, and we know we're the guys. We're the guys.
Well, and one thing too, that facility can make you. Facility could make or break you. That's a big track when you come down to it.
It is, but they do that everywhere. That's where they go. That's what they do. Road racing is their thing. We don't see that because we don't do it.
But you also, I have to direct some of this. You said effortlessly. And that's the way it appears. But when we were there on Wednesday night, who was not there?
Hager's.
No.
Well, they were there, but
they were there in representation. But quite a few of them were back in the shop, still pounding out parts so that people can put their stuff together to get to the racetrack.
Well, like Chris wasn't there on Wednesday when I was there. I asked Terry. I said, "Where's he?" Well, he's still at the shop. He's got some stuff to do. He'll be out tomorrow. Well, he showed up out tomorrow, took care of business.
Yeah, so it's not effortlessly. They put in hours upon hours upon hours to support this sport that we love so much. So that's really what it boils down to is, we do need to support them, and we do appreciate them because of all the stuff that they do in our sport.
Yeah, there's just no doubt about it. It says, Ronnie Sawyer, Joe, I'm drinking a full suspension pale ale from Squatters. Found it in Salt Lake City in the bottle.
You could send me.
How many
one
speedway
of those.
guys run sprint and road race? I don't know. I know Phil Fow did. People say, Phil Fow, he's what? You know what? That guy was one of the greatest racers to ever do the sport. You know why? Because he was good in sprint. He was good in speedway. He was good in road race. He did them all. And if you guys go and look, I went and took a peek at. You go to IKF.com, I think it is, or InternationalKartingFederation.com. I can't remember what it was. But you look at there, and you go and you click on the IKF experts. And you look through the Hall of Fame. You will find one name. There might be Lynn Haddock. I'm not sure who the other one is. Lynn Haddock, I think he and Phil were the only two. But you'll notice Phil's name in sprint. You'll notice Phil Fowles' name in road race. You'll notice Phil Fowles' name in four-cycle. You'll notice his name in every class of IKF karting. He is an IKF expert. I don't know how much more you have to do for people to understand that you were the guy, right? I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, to be second behind him is saying something and a learning experience. So if you ever get the opportunity, don't let it get away.
Yeah, absolutely. He's 70 years old. His timing's not quite the same as it was when he was 40. But I guarantee. Yeah, that's right. I'm telling you. Well, I don't know. I can't say that's right.
No, I'm admitting it.
He is a absolute stellar racer. But the same goes for Hager.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. You put Terry Hager in a road race car. That's his bag. That's what he understands. That's what he knows. That's what these guys lived. But I did make the cardinal sin Saturday night.
Uh-oh.
I went to South Sound. and I went, and it was nice. Double M and I were there. It was time. Yeah, it was a good time. We were joined with Sizzle and Seth Waldall and his dad and his parents. It was really a good night. I'm going to tell you again, South Sound is one of the most underrated racetracks in the Northwest.
Good facility,
bar none. And here's what happened. So, with probably 5 to go, I'm standing there, and the wife's wanting to go. She's prodding me. She's saying, come on, let's go. And I'm thinking, I know. But I just have this feeling somebody's going to turn him. I just want to see for a couple more laps, right? So we go, and the white flag waves, and we start heading out of the deal. Well, the lesson learned here is you never leave until the checkered falls, because on that white flag lap there was a yellow flag.
Uh-oh.
Yep. And what happens? They're one of the few series that still does double file restarts. So that let Mr. Heinrich get up there, and he led early. He led very early. The pick that I had for it was Garrett Archer. He led it for a long time. At the 100-lap break, he was the leader. And I think the crew forgot to put fuel in the car because early in the next 100-lap segment, after Wade Bland got by him, defending champ, by the way, Wade Bland checks out. And it was basically he was unchallenged the second half of the event. Now, I printed the story, and I'm going to tell you, I printed the story not knowing the full ramifications of what went down. I left early. I made the cardinal sin. So I am here to apologize to everybody that I made a mistake.
Uh-oh.
I will never, ever, ever do that again. And if I do that again, I will never report another story without seeing who crossed underneath the checker flag. Because what happened on that last and final lap, they went green, white, checkered. Double file restart. Heinrich got the lead. He took it from Wade Bland, who was checked out. He was done. It was all but his in the bag.
Winner. Not.
Well, he was. He ended up being. But it ended up coming down to Tristan Hyder was in 4th. He ends up 5th. They show on the... Well, we looked it up yesterday, right? We looked it up online.
It's not on there anymore. It's off.
It's off.
Uh-oh. Not official.
They had Tommy Ellison winning it. Well, he there's no way he was winning it because he was back in 4th, I think. I think he ended up 4th.
Well, Tristan told us they told him to take another lap for scoring.
Yes. However, the winner was Wade Bland. But from what I can gather from a couple of individuals who posted on the page who were pretty upset, who I apologize to, Mr. Tom Foley. I will say, Mr. Foley, I apologize. I made a mistake, and you were right. However, at the time we were talking, he was unchallenged. You and I both know that he was unchallenged. And I made the mistake of thinking that's how it went on. Because Chad Hinkle was in second. Well, Chad Hinkle spun. And Bland, apparently, from what I can gather from sources here, they run him up into the wall. Second place, he finishes second, but he's up on the wall, tearing stuff up the bottom of the car. I'll show you the replay tonight when we're done. You'll see what I mean. I had my wife come up and watch it. I said, "Can you believe this happened after we left?" No, I can't.
Oops.
So, I'm sorry for that. I learned a huge lesson from that. Something I will never ever do again, and because it's never over till it's over.
Amen to that.
Can I get an agreement on that?
Amen.
Never over till it's over.
I mean, Jeffrey, right? And I'm paying for it. Tom Foley said, "What do you mean I'm challenged? I mean, Jay's the way." You know, he was hot. Mr. Foley, I get that. And I won't ever do that again. If you read my post, I said, "Oh crap. I posted before I should have." I choked. I choked.
And apologized.
And I did. I did apologize.
And are apologizing.
Swires, the Wi-Fi is slow. SLC. I don't know what SLC stands for. LOL, you should get a handicap on your sign-in tonight. Handicap and Ronnie go together, says Brent Meyer. LOL.
Oh. He's looking for a final on the scores for tonight.
Tell me about it every stinking week. But thanks, Brent, by the way. I say it with love. Well, you know, Brent Meyer was there with his wife and his family, and I just want to say, if you had a 2-year-old daughter like Paige Meyer, oh my goodness. That little girl was a handful, but she was awesome. It was one of the coolest things about the whole night. I got to meet Paige Meyer.
Awesome.
I only wish to be mentioned with the Haggers. They are top shelf pros with a resume to prove it. Most only can even imagine what they have actually done. Says Kevin Bridges. Yes, I would agree. When it comes to road racing, pipe down, Brent, LOL. SLC, Salt Lake City. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Being as though that is where he's at all the time. But I did get to see Ronnie Swires at the Road Race Nationals for a brief moment. We got to talk. It was on Friday.
Nice.
Or no, it was on Thursday. And he was leaving. He had to get out. But still, nonetheless, it was good to see him. Yeah.
Effective. So tonight, as of our call-ins...
Yes, go ahead.
Daniel Watkins, 121. Brent Meyer, who has been leading for most of it, got knocked off a couple weeks ago, is at 110.
Ooh.
So he
Even though with his win tonight?
Yeah, no, Daniel got the win tonight, so that put him over the top. So Dan Watkins is at 121. Brent Meyer is at 110.
Ooh.
Ronnie Cox is at 81.
Ooh. He's third? He's
Sean,
third? Ronnie Cox is?
Sean Halbert is at 58, as well as Daryl Kelso is at 58. After that, Rusty King at, Northwest Kart Dates with 53. After that, Rusty King at 52. And then after that, we have Sean Carr and Matt Strebe both pulling in at 39, and Sean Carr rounding it out at 37. Just outside of that is Jason Sucic at 37, and Daniel Kravitz at 35.
Yeah, Kravitz he's been vacant lately. I don't know what's going on.
He's been pretty good though. He's near the top. So, but Dan Watkins is it's all about consistency. He might not be pulling down number one, but he's there every week.
Absolutely. Sean Carr says Wetline Racing. Ronnie Swires says seeing his son win and now his grandson Cole. Cool stuff. And that's Hager. Yeah.
Right.
Those guys are good. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. They are flipping good at road racing. They get it. They understand it. They live it. They own it. And I'm good with that. And I'm totally good with that.
I'm curious. Did you happen to see that post on Sunday from Northwest Kart Dates?
I did. He sent some. Did he send some finishes? Oh, or was it the one with the Gold Cup? Yes. I did see that. And I want to mention, I did see that they changed it, but I also see that it went back around. And I had a good chat with Chet Folis, who helps out Monroe Jordan, and he also oversees quite a bit of Kevin Jander's stuff, I do believe. But I want everybody to know that while those people are affiliated with Italian Motors, they're still hoofing their bill. And they still do what they want to do. And so, that being said, there were some hurt feelings there with the Gold Cup. But I guess the story we don't see is the story that was before that. I guess the Gold Cup had made some errors and some things, and so it was. Now I don't know. I mean, I'm just hearing this from two different parties. But where I'm at with it is the fact still remains the Gold Cup is back on. Isn't that what you told me?
That's what I read. That's
correct. And ultimately, that's what's important. Actually, after talking to Chet Folis yesterday, he says that there's another $1,000 in the pot that wasn't there before. So, who wins in that deal?
What? But if you've had people when they canceled, it was canceled, ran out and canceled all the reservations. Who did win? Have you got people that were going to go or aren't going to go now?
Yeah. I just know that with that series, with what's going on, I think you need to be, how do I want to say it? Michael Valiente rescued the whole thing, from what I understand. He went to work. He saw that it probably wasn't the wisest idea to schedule that race when the Gold Cup had already had plans. So he worked with his dad, who's over in Italy now. He worked with the Gold Cup. Don't know who's actually on that board now anymore, because I've been out of it for quite some time. But the fact still remains is the Gold Cup is on. And there's $1,000 more in the purse. That's a W. One of the things that Chet Folis and I talked about, and I know we're not getting into any results tonight, but I think this is super important to talk about, is one of the things that happened at the Road Race Grand Nationals this week was Aaron Stanford had a lot of things planned for family and friends. They had the big water balloon fight, the parents versus the adults. They had the hop along, the what do you call it? The rubber room. I don't know what you call it, but
the bouncy house.
The bouncy house.
The rubber room.
Well, you know what I mean.
That's at Western States.
Yeah. But they went for that family. They went for that family outing.
Snow cones.
Yeah, they had snow cones. They had all kinds of cool stuff, which is where I think and Lippy, you might be able to. This might really touch a string on you because of what you're involved in, but that's what's missing. Is that kind of stuff, the family stuff. I think we've come so far where we. And chime in whenever you're ready. But, I mean, we chime in and we do stuff and we handle stuff, but there's not a lot of family stuff left anymore. And I just thought it was wonderful that they focused a little bit on that. And that was a lot of people had said that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. One of the things that disappoints me about racing, and I know it's competitive, and I know everybody wants to win, but it also needs to be fun. And when you take the fun factor out of it, that's when it really takes on a whole different.
I agree.
Aspect, and that is what's missing. I'm glad for that portion of it. I think a lot of the stuff that Stanford did or is doing is basing it back towards that, i.e. the
bouncy house,
the food and everything that they cooked when we were there on Wednesday night was awesome. Just to gather everybody together and chit chat and talk and talk about racing and whatever else happens in our lives, that it doesn't happen where everybody's in their pits with their confined areas and don't come in here and I'll talk to you later and all that other stuff that happens now on race days, and that just it takes all the fun out of it. So I'm very glad for that. It's what needs to happen. It's what makes things fun again. So that's what's missing, and I'm glad that he's recognized that and is trying to turn the corner to make things fun again.
Yes, and I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more wholeheartedly with you on that. And here's my deal with it: is Mike Michelson in the house?
Yeah, and he's got something. You should read that there.
Yeah, let's see what he says.
Little prayer heading his way. That's all I got to say.
Yes. Hey boys and girls, sorry I couldn't make it. Terry, girlfriend isn't doing well. Miss everybody. Thanks, Brian. We'll get through. Staying positive, man. When you're racing next. I don't want to overstep my boundaries here, but those of you that may not know Mike Michelson, his girlfriend Carrie Marie, who you see online quite a bit on Facebook, she's a positive light in all of this, is struggling through cancer. And what a guy. He's a real man is what Mike Michelson is, because he's there with his woman. He's taking care of her. He's made the efforts to be up, thanks to Carrie Marie, who said, "Hey, go ahead and go up and do the Grandnationals with Terry up there for the quarter midgets." She's just always allowed him to come to Spokane and do a show.
Very supportive.
Very, 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 very supportive. But we all need to be saying a prayer for Mike Michelson. The guy's a real man. He stays with his woman. He doesn't bail. He doesn't, make excuses.
He's genuine.
He's genuine, and he's trying to do what he knows is best. So we need to get on our hands and knees and say a prayer for them, because they need it. They need it big time.
Yeah, little help tonight for that. So before you go to bed, folks.
Hold up Carrie Marie and Mike Michelson for sure.
Yeah, good people just doing good things.
Absolutely, they are 100%. But going back to what we were talking about, Libby, you're 100% right. And Chet Folis and I talked about this. This was one of the things. Now, I don't want to make this about me whatsoever. But I remember when Joey McGuire was originally trying to take the Gold Cup over. He got beat up hard because he didn't have hard and fast numbers that would say, hey, here's what's going to be, and here's what's going to happen, and here's what's going to take place. But what he did have was a vision. And I told him, I said, hey, Sundays, there's nothing you can do. People need to leave. People have to work the next day. So Saturday night leaves the only night where you let everything finish up. You tell everybody, hey, trophies aren't going to be until 7 o'clock. That gives everybody a chance to finish working on their carts for Sunday. Those are they're going to stay. And lets others go home that are done. Take home, go back to the motel room or wherever they're at. Take a shower, get themselves together. They come back, and there's a barbecue where everybody eats at the same time, and then they give awards. That way, Junior 1 is as important. Everybody gets to see it. It's not just a few people. Rotax Masters, whatever it is, every class gets to be in the forefront and gets seen because everybody is there supporting it. You know what I mean, Jeff?
Exactly.
And it was having that barbecue saying, hey, everybody can eat together on Saturday night. Whether it be we go and support another business within the community that we could help out, that would give them some help. So while the Gold Cup was there, we're making a positive difference. Or whether it stays right there at the track and we just say, hey, we're going to go ahead and do trophies at 7. Let everybody go, do their thing, get a shower, come back, they're refreshed. Maybe some of the day's confrontations have been thought about and they're not a big deal anymore, or they've maybe settled down a little bit, gave people time to kind of rethink their side of things. I don't know, Jeff. What do you think?
It does. A lot of this stuff that happens, it's at the heat of the moment. You go back and you think about it, all of a sudden it isn't that big a deal.
It isn't. Lippy, I mean, come on. We've both been there, I think.
100% of the time. It's one of the things I say at the driver's meeting is, after a confrontation or an altercation, just please take a lap and calm yourself down before you come confront any of the officials, because it'll just make for an easier time. If you have a problem, we both have a problem. If you don't come to me with a problem and discussion, then that's what it becomes, is a discussion and not an argument. So, yeah, I agree, and I really like, for me at the track, the banquets, the barbecues, that kind of stuff. That's where memories are made. I posted at our last race after my day was all done and I had a fire pit going. That for me that's my time. That's when I can unload. That's when I can let go. The day's done. The fire's good. It's what I do it for.
I agree. Jeff, I mean, you just said, when you think about it after a while, things that were maybe super important, all of a sudden you think about it and you go,
well,
what was I really mad at? I mean, well, yes, I want to win like the next guy, let's face it, but
and where I learned this from is actually through drag racing. I used to work the top end of the racetrack. And a lot of times you have an issue or a car crashes. A lot of times back in the older days when I was working there, it was being put in reverse at the finish line. So it goes for quite a ride. If you could get to that guy as he comes out of the car, grab him by the helmet, what happened, he'll tell you. You give him 10 minutes, and something broke.
The story changes.
It does.
Lippy's cracking up.
It's true. It's so true what he's saying.
Hey, I mean,
and so in that heat of the moment, it's coming out. I don't care how weather is.
Honesty.
Is where it's at. You give yourself some time to think about it, especially like say you've been a little fender bender. You'll cool down, and then wow, I only bent some sheet metal. No big deal.
Right. And you know what? It could have been my fault.
Yeah, but at the point in time, you're not thinking it's your fault. You're just it's just the way I've seen it. I've seen it, like I say, through the drag racing deal. I mean, I had a guy one day plug the car at 170 miles an hour in reverse. You cannot believe the ride that man took.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the first one to him. And the first thing comes out, man alive, don't ever plug it in reverse at the finish line. Well, 20 minutes later, he was telling his buddy the rear end broke.
Nobody likes responsibility of bad things that happen.
So, it's the story changes one way or the other.
Yep. Bad or good.
And Libby, you totally attest to this because you're cracking up laughing. I love it.
I am. Yeah, it's so true what he has to say, and a lot of times, I have remorse right now for something that happened this winter to Corey, down in Salem, and I should have lifted, but I didn't because Lippy always lifts, and I didn't that day, and I put Corey in the wall, and I still am not happy with myself for that day. So it's just stuff happens, and it's in the heat of the moment, and what do you do? Except for say you're sorry.
What do? You read a Chizzy post, and he wants to know how the seal coat challenge came out.
The wheels are off of this wagon right now. I'm just going to tell you right now, the wheels are gone, so we're just going to roll with it.
Yeah, so some of you may have saw my post today, and that was an interesting day. As many of you know, my boss, Scott from Scott Seal Coat, we were doing an apartment complex, and we were sealing our section, and as I came down the hill with my back to the biggest portion of the lot that was behind me that it was already sealed, I hear splat, 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 splat. Trying to figure out what the noise was, I finally turned around to see a 20-something-year-old woman running at me with shorts and flip-flops on, which had seal coat splatting up her back at that point, still running at me. And, I was flapping my arms and trying to slow her down to make her stop, get her off of the wet seal coat, which I was able to stop her and turn her to the side, but she still ran over and stood on the seal coat. And finally I gave up and just made her walk right over to me and off the seal coat. But that was only one, Dave, I might tell you, of three others that did the same thing. And I also have to say that, we did have 2 cars towed on that day as well because people just can't follow directions. So, yeah, another day in the life of a seal coater.
Wow. Well, by the way, that isn't always the case when Scott's comes to do a seal coat, right?
We're on top of
things.
So
are you going to have to redo that seal coat?
Well, the positive thing of that is you can definitely see, if anybody is my friend on Facebook, that you'll be able to see the footsteps through that. And then I got her to stop, and you can see her go off to the side. But what you really can't see is as she goes off to the side and then comes right back to me as I'm taking the pictures. But anyways, that was
She wanted a copy?
No speak English. So we had to put a second coat on that day. So we did get to cover that mess up. But yeah, it never ceases to amaze me. You can have cones, caution tape, everything else, and it just doesn't deter.
Well, it doesn't, and that's the way it is in racing, right? You can expect the very best, but what you get isn't always what you expect.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And Jeff said something. He brought up the topic of, the Gold Cup had been canceled because there was a post that was put out there that was probably done in haste. I don't know. I just know that I talked to Chet Folis in detail about it. And the positive thing is the Gold Cup is still on. It's still going to be there. There's an extra $1,000 in the pot that wasn't there before. I just think it was probably a good thing. I mean, I can't say it was a bad thing, but it was a good thing in the fact of, hey, things got worked out. The problems got addressed. There was problems from both sides, of which the Northwest Race Report didn't hear both sides. So that's what you want to do. You don't want to report before you hear both sides. All I'm going to say is it's a positive thing. The Gold Cup is still on. Hopefully everybody still goes and supports it because that's an important thing.
Yes.
And that's just the way it goes.
It is the way it goes. And God, do we have some time?
Oh, we do. We're off. We're probably way off track, but that's okay. I mean, it is okay.
We are way off track thanks to Speedway tonight, who is our beer of the choice.
Ale Smith, the Speedway Stout. It is pretty good. I will say
it is very good.
It is the beer of the Northwest Race Report minus me.
So, if we're gonna go there, I'm gonna go and dive right in, and we have to. As officials, as presidents of clubs and other things like that, we really have to turn our filters on and not try and get wound up in this stuff, because we have all kinds of people in our sport, some good, some bad. We'll take them all and
we'll deal with them.
Yeah,
yes.
Definitely so. So, we can't be discouraged by one or two people that tend to be the most vocal, that get out there and put all this out on the internet so everybody else can experience it. We can't get wound up in that. We can't. If anybody follows me and knows me, I don't comment a lot on all this stuff. I'm there. I'm a lurker. I know what's going on. I may control other people that do say a lot, but for me, really, it's just don't get involved. It's don't fall victim to it. If there's a lot of people out there, or a few people out there, who want to put a dim light on something, their light will dim. Just let it dim. Don't feed it by adding to it. Just let it go. And, feed the portion that you want to feed, the portion that makes it better and makes it right. There's always
There's old Jeff over there stirring the pot.
The poop stirrers. Yeah, and I agree with that 100%. I've been dealing with that since the day I got here, and there's plenty of them out there. Some will die off, and another one will come right in to fill his place, to continue on to making it their attention. So
I agree. And the beauty,
don't go falling for it.
You're right, 100%, Lippy. I mean, we're gonna have Aaron Stanford on, which is gonna be great at the 7:30 hour. He's gonna be our Blue Line Graphics in the seat guest, and we're gonna get to hear firsthand what he thought and his reasonings behind why he went with that family. Promoting the family side of things. I mean, Jeff, I think you've said all along you're behind the family thing. You think it's an important deal.
It is. I mean, the family is all there. If you can give them, the younger ones, something to do, mom and dad are a lot happier.
You're 100% right.
And we got to remember, it comes down to 90% of what we do, unless you're really into the professional side of the sports, is family oriented. I mean, if you go to a late model race, you don't have kids in the pits. They've got to be someplace else. But on like this go-karts, I mean, they're right there.
They are right there.
They're right there.
And it does need to stem towards family, I think. And I think that's one of the things that we're missing here.
And I agree. Late models, large cars, you shouldn't have it there. I totally 100% agree.
Yeah, I mean,
but you just came from the quarter midget show. I mean, I've been to the quarter midget shows. They've showed up at our races and raced with us. Those people understand how to put together a show with kids to make it manageable, to make it flow through the day.
Lippy, I got to tell you.
Happen.
I got to tell you. I mean, and I should show you this thing, but they had a program there. This program, I mean, you used to have to pay $1 or something when you go to the late model races to watch, to get a program, right? And it had all the ads in it, and it had all the drivers. You know, usually it had a replaceable paper sheet that you could go in there and write the times on that they would install in there. But this thing was full color. It was full color.
Wow.
Yeah, it was full color. I'll show it to you tonight when we get off the show. But yet they had 300 and I guess it was officially 310 or 301 cars there. But they had every group represented their region. So there was people from Florida. And it was region, I don't know what region it was, what number it was, but there was region 9, which is this region, Portland, Washington, whatever. All those kids got together. Every one of those 301 kids, whether or not they were repeat classes, right? They joined one, they're running double classes, doesn't matter. Every one of them got introduced. They went through a balloon. They got to walk through. They got their picture taken behind the backdrop. Man, that's something you'll never forget as a kid.
No, and just the respect and everything else that they push into their kids, pound into their kids, make them understand. You know, we should all stand back and look at what they've got going there.
They've got a good deal
program.
going. It is a good program. I will
definitely.
say.
The way they get the parents involved, you have to be involved. You can't just be on the outside yelling in on the inside how you want everything and then go back to your pits and not have to do anything. Everybody has a job. Everybody has something to do all day long.
And Lippy, that's one of the biggest things I noticed when I went up to the 2017 Western Grands for the QMA, the Quarter Midgets of America, is they had an official. They had one official or two officials that were actually from the QMA. They were there. But the rest of it was the club putting on the event. And logistically, if you looked at this thing,
it was a nightmare.
It was a nightmare. It was.
But they made it look effortless.
They did.
I'm telling you. I've worked with them. They are phenomenal people. Really, they are.
And it was. This whole show, I mean, yes, we could sit here and we could probably pick it apart. But I'm going to tell you,
But why?
Yeah, but why? Exactly. That's 100%, 100% exactly. Because I look at this thing and I say, for what you guys had to do logistically, it should have been, there's no way it should. You know what? This show basically, for the most part, and I'm going to say 100%, it went off without a hitch.
Yeah, I agree.
They were on time. There was a couple things that were beyond their control. The kids were out there having some problems. It took one class, it took an hour to do a few. But they're learning, right? They're brand new. They don't have a ton of time.
That's what they're there for.
Logistically, this thing, there's no way it should have went off. It went off without a hitch. And it was actually smooth. It was enjoyable.
Yep.
Everybody had a good time at the end. You didn't see. Yeah, there was a few parents that were maybe a little bit hot over some calls and whatnot.
300 and some, you're gonna have.
You know, yeah. It was 90 plus degrees. It was hotter than Hades.
Please everybody.
Yes.
Thank you.
You know, so hats off to those guys. And the crazy thing was the week before, nobody knows this, but the was it Little Wheels? Graham, or not Graham, but the ones down here at I-5. They had the Speedway Nationals there after somebody in Wisconsin or whatever couldn't do it. They took that on with a week's worth of notice and went ahead and run a national.
That's Kyle.
Yeah.
That's Kyle.
Kyle White.
Yeah.
And my God.
And that club's phenomenal. If you go over there and watch the races, because when we go to the track, if they're running, we just walk over and you support.
Hang out. It's all in the same place.
Elma. It is. And that's the beauty of it is they have full color programs. I mean, I asked them, what did you spend on trophies? They told me $30,000 on trophies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
They're making it happen over there.
A lot of good sponsors.
Yes. I'm telling you.
It's involved parents.
It's what I've been saying. Karting is lacking for the last 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 years that I've been involved in it.
20.
I mean, I'm just saying it's lacking the stuff that the quarter midgets do. They have full color programs with each little kid's face on there. Yes, they missed a few. There were some that weren't in there.
Yeah, but at that point in time, that's your responsibility.
That's on you. That is correct.
Right.
That is correct. You can't hold the club responsible for everything. But they had a full color program. There was club members there working late into the night making this balloon, arch that the kids could walk through the next day and get their picture taken behind a really cool background.
Just like the NFL.
I mean, I don't care if you were just. I mean, there was no fans in there. Not one fan walked through the gate as a paid gate, person. Just being there, it was neat for me as an announcer. I'm going, this is like going on.
Yeah, it's Gold Cup experience with QMA.
Yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal.
Yep. They do put on a good show, and we all could learn from them.
We
definitely.
certainly could. I'm going to say,
they make it
if
happen.
you want to go see how to run a program, I mean, just go watch the Quarter Midgets of America. Whether it's the QMA up here or it's the Portland Club down in Portland at Alpenrose or the Little Wheels out here at Graham or the I-5 group that's out here on the dirt that's in Grace Harbor. I mean, go look at what they do. It is phenomenal.
Yep, we all could learn from them, from modifieds all the way down to go-karts. I mean, they do a great job, a phenomenal show, and they get everybody involved, and nobody gets left behind. And that's truly the best part of the whole thing right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
And we got a few minutes. I'm going to let Jeff go ahead with some of the results that we got today, because I know we went way over it. But I think this was an important topic to cover.
Definitely.
So go ahead, Jeff.
Well, really, I'm not going to do much on the results. I got some shout-outs here. Deming changed their webpage. It is user-friendly now.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. You're not searching for it. Go click, 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 and results come up. Thank you.
Nice.
Skagit this week. They've got Ladies' Night. I think they said the first 5,000 or something got in free.
Wow. See?
So I can wear a skirt and make it in? Or is it a gender check?
I don't know if you can even do that.
Don't even go there, please.
I'll shave.
Grace Harbor this weekend, it's the fair race. If you are in the fair or go to the fair, you pay your fair admission, it gives you free access to the grandstands to watch the races.
Nice.
So, and they're having
you don't have to shave.
they're having the Ironman race for the hobby stocks. They're going to run 2 25-lap mains. They used to do them all together, and things got pretty wild. So they've split it up. And modifieds, and I think the tuners are there along with them. A big, huge shout out to a friend of ours.
Oh,
Miss Kim Parker.
Oh yeah, you saw that, didn't you? Holy moly! Big deal.
This is a big deal for Kim, their whole team. You win a national event with NHRA, it's huge.
She came from number 1 qualifier,
yes,
too.
and that's Randy turning the wrenches. Randy won his Wally in 95, I think it was. Yes, it was. It was 95.
In Woodburn.
No, he won it at Seattle with the Oregon Dairy Farmers.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
I know I'm right.
Yes, you are.
Because it was on a Tuesday. The race rained out, and it kept moving back. And I had to go to a funeral down in Oregon, so I was I kept getting phone calls back and forth to find out what was going on. And so now the Mama's got her Wally, and the picture I seen of it today, it was strapped into the passenger seat in her car.
Nice.
So
very appropriate from a school bus driver who drives your kids to school every day to 277 miles an hour, I think was her qualifying time at 5:22 with a 9.
Yeah.
If memory serves me right. Which is a big deal. I mean, we got some heavy hitters out here on the West Coast as far as times turned in the top alcohol category.
Well, you was 5:22, 5:23, 5:23, 5:24.
Yeah, it was. That was a big deal. So
the top 4, you could throw a blanket over them.
Yeah, I'm so glad for them. They truly deserved it. I read somewhere that 18 years. In the making for that? Or
Well, she's been running a long time with the alcohol car.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they ran blown alcohol. Now they're running injected nitro, which is
right.
Which is a feat in itself to make that stuff run.
It is, and it truly is.
And she was there for the taking come the final round because they had a hole go out just after she hit the throttle, and it ran really slow. Like only 240 miles an hour.
But still, it's who crosses the line first,
and whatever happened to Joey, I never did find out. Joey's car shut off or something. But
did you see Chisholm's post here? I find it rather humorous. At the test track we built years ago, if you flew off the track in turn number 3, you died. LOL. Pound hillbillies.
Definitely a problem. We experience that at ORV from time to time.
But those guys are wearing shoes.
It says, yeah. He says, Daryl Kelso, yeah, been a while, LOL.
But, yeah, big shout out to Kim.
Yeah, definitely. The whole Parker clan, Mercedes shop, Car Star, those guys all deserve a big round of applause. They did a great job.
I want to put this out to the viewers out there, just to see what you guys would come back and say. It's September 6th. We're thinking about the Northwest Race Report. Now I've got to talk to Flags, Jeremy, to see if he can make this happen. But the Northwest Race Report would like to go down on September 6th and do a live show. That's a Wednesday night, the same night as the World of Outlaws are at Willamette Speedway. Are you guys for that? Would you guys be for us going down there and doing a live show from Willamette at the World of Outlaws? Let us know what you think on the chat line, please. We would like to hear from you.
What else you got, Jeff?
Oh, and actually, I got kind of a thing that kind of prerequisite next week. There's our caller.
No, that's me.
No, that's.
I've got a comparison between NHRA and NASCAR, and I'm going to ask some questions, and I want some feedback. There's some interesting things happening that I don't think's good for either one of the sports, and I just would like to.
Oh, wow. We have time, don't we?
Oh, I don't want to get in this one yet.
Oh.
This one's.
This is next week?
Well, I'm gonna give him a buzz right now just to see what's going on here.
But I can give some results while you're doing that.
Yeah, you could go ahead and do that.
Chance Crum won the 1200 at Deming. Kyler Mitchell won the 600.
Oh, keep going. Keep going.
I have this ringing in my ears. Blaine Cranberry won the 600 restricted, and Levi Hiller won the junior sprints. Sportsman sprints at Skagit. Michael Bolgener, this is his third race in a row. It's kind of taking Kelsey Carpenter off the pedestal.
Please leave your message for.
All right. So apparently Aaron Stanford isn't going to be available tonight. So we're gonna just continue on with our show.
I can fill his slot after Jeff's done.
Okay.
Modifieds was Rick Smith, Craig Moore, and Kevin Smith. And the tuners was Curtis Ellis. Grays Harbor midgets. They only had 18 midgets showed up there. I don't know what was going on there.
A few of them were in pieces, Shane Smith.
Well, Shane wasn't there, but Renee and Shane Mr. Biles. I didn't see them on the list, so I don't know.
Well, he says he sent me a text today that says that Renee is now in full-blown kart mode. They're getting ready to go to the Nationals into September.
Well, she had all them damn wheels there on the floor getting ready to start with. I'm going, holy crap. I don't know what's your tire bill either, lady. My God.
Been there, done that.
But anyway, the midgets, Evan Marginson won that, and he's actually a sprint car racer, so I don't know whose ride he was in, but Nick Larson and Nick Evans, at least Nick went to third and hadn't been second. He's been second all year long. Street Stocks went to Jack Parcel.
Oh, here we go. And here is our guest for tonight, Mr. Aaron Stanford. We're gonna we gotta give him the heads up. Your favorite drivers and people of interest in the motorsports world. It's time for In the Seat, powered by Blue Line Graphics. All right, our guest, he is the road race guru around here. And Aaron Stanford, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Terry, what's up?
Dude, give us, I don't know if you've listened to the show up until this point, but we didn't do any results. We didn't do anything because we were talking about the great thing that you did at the Road Race Nationals by making it a family-oriented affair.
That's what racing's supposed to be. It's, when I was being raised around it, that's kind of what it was. People raced all day, and then afterwards, everyone sat around. The parents kind of drank and ate hamburgers and dogs, and us kids went and played in the dirt. That's what it was about.
It is, and I can't tell you enough. I don't know if you listened to the beginning of the show, but I guess for me, it was I went there, and you get an idea of like yourself, who is a road racing icon, but probably doesn't get the notoriety that you deserve. You guys like Hager, you don't realize what they've done to the sport until you go watch those guys. They make it look as effortless as the Speedway guys do that we talk about every week here on the show. I mean, they made it look just like they do. Do you agree?
Oh yeah.
I mean, your dad was there. Your dad was
80 years old.
Yeah. And I mean, he has such a bundle of knowledge. It's just awesome talking to him.
Well, think about it. You started back in Kansas in 1960 racing go-karts. So, yeah, there's a little bit of knowledge there.
You think? I mean, just a little bit, right? I mean, holy cow.
Since I started racing, he's only missed 4 of my races ever.
That's crazy. That's crazy,
awesome.
Aaron.
That's awesome.
In other words, he's forgot most of what most people know.
That's exactly right. As far as road racing goes, you bet that's a fact.
Yep.
So, well, now you've remarried, and you've got your wonderful wife, who is behind the scenes. Behind every great man is a great woman, right?
Amen.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, and she is great. But you've also got a daughter, Brittany, she's a pretty established little road racer herself now.
Yeah, she started going to the races, the sprint races when we worked the Gold Cup with BAM Race Tech with Bill Heddick and them, and kind of got around the karting stuff. And then it was kind of funny, me and Lisa got married, and we were like, well, we're going to do our honeymoon, we're going to go on a cruise. And Brittany ended up buying Lisa's go-kart, and it helped pay our way for our honeymoon. And then she started doing track days, and then she finally got in the go-kart and went and did the race, and took a little bit of time, but lo and behold, she's coming around, and now she's starting to make her own little name in road racing.
Well, yeah, and as a stepdad, how does that make you feel?
I don't know, really. I never really thought about it. It's just she likes karting. She works on it. She preps it all, but it's good to see her race and finish. The thing that is probably more exciting or more proud moments is when she gets frustrated at the track, like, I don't know what line I'm supposed to be in. I don't know where I'm supposed to be at. And it's like, wow, she's actually thinking about this. That's kind of the proud moment you have, not, the first place or the second place, but when she's out there thinking about where she's supposed to be driving, what line she's supposed to be at. Those are the things that you're like, going, wow, step back and kind of take a look, like, she's really trying here.
Yeah, that is awesome.
That is awesome.
That is
truly that couldn't be spoken any better than a parent right there. That is the pinnacle of what we all look for.
Absolutely. So Lippy, I mean, you guys. I got to spend 4 days there. You guys got to show up on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Jeff had told me that he was pretty impressed with what he saw. You showed up, and you were a little bit later, but still, I mean, from what you gathered, what did you take from all that?
My take on it, as somebody who does what Stanford does on a weekend basis, is hats off to you. I've been in the same boat. Please do drink more water. I don't like to see that out of anybody, and I know you don't want to be that way. But other than that, I mean, wow, the whole experience there with everybody and the pits and everything that was set up and the way you did everything, the barbecue that night, everything was just awesome. That's the way it should be. That's the way I expect it to be. The camaraderie, at the end of the day, nobody's mad at anybody. Everybody's in line getting barbecues and high-fiving and looking forward to the next day. And that's what we do it for. And that's what I enjoyed.
I mean, even with the barbecue going on, and we had the snow cone machine and the bouncy house going for the kids, and you missed the next day because the next day we had the bouncy water slide out there for the kids.
I did miss that, and I did miss that. And being a working person, it does suck, but you do put on a great show out there, and you accommodated everybody, you made everything happen. You couldn't ask for more. I mean, really couldn't. Even the entries out there was, I thought,
what was the final number, Aaron, as far as entries go?
3.
We had like 356, 358 entries.
Wow.
See, you can't be disappointed.
How do you be disappointed at that, Aaron?
Well, I don't think he is, but still.
Well, we were just hoping to get, we were like, well, if we get 250 entries, we're good. And then by the time we left by the time we closed registration on Saturday, we had 279 entries, and the rest of them just showed up at the track.
But isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
it's totally awesome.
It's very awesome.
It truly is. I mean, it was a great combination. You put on a great show. It's a great facility there. Truly is.
Yeah,
top notch.
Out of the whole event, we had one red flag, and it was a precautionary red flag. The guy got out of his cart and his leg was hurt and he fell over, and it was just a pulled hamstring. That was like the biggest injury of the whole week.
Oh wow!
So that's good news.
Yeah, that's way better than us.
And something else.
Yeah,
I've never been around karting very much. I'm more of a big car person, and what I was impressed was with your racers, because I wandered down there and kind of started talking with people. There was everybody I talked to was willing to talk to me and tell me about their karts and what they do. That you can take your hats off to that too, because that's a good group of racers. The three things right there all have to coordinate to make it right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we even had drivers from New Jersey. We had drivers from New Jersey. We had some from Missouri. We had Michigan. We had Ohio. I mean, there's people from all over that came and enjoyed themselves in the event. And me and Lisa have been getting emails after the event congratulating us and thanking us for the event and wanting us to go back east and put on an event and stuff like that. And never realized that it would be this big.
Oh.
We just put on a show. We put on a show that we thought it would be a race that we would want to go to. Something where I have my racing, Lisa will have our activities, and it'd be something to do for the kids. Because that's the biggest thing up here. We take our younger kids to the races. There's nothing really to do for them at a sprint race.
Yep.
It's all about the racing. You spend your money, and at the end of the day, everyone disperses, goes their own way, and it doesn't make it fun for the younger people. So that it makes the wife not want to go because the kids are bored nagging her So what do? You create an event where dad gets to go race, there's a daughter or son, wife gets to have her fun, kids are entertained, everybody's happy. It's easier to go to a race.
It's a win-win.
It is a fact, Aaron. It is a fact. And you did it. I mean, even the trophy present. I mean, I was involved with it heavily on Thursday. You know, and when you see guys like Terry Hager with the smile that he had on his face, I mean, it's like, how do you not just say, wow, we've succeeded 100%?
Yeah, it was definitely one of those things where I tell Lisa all the time, I'll try anything once.
Twice if you like it.
Yeah.
So
and it'll take a little while
so
if
now,
I try it again.
Now, did you find your wireless?
No.
Dude, it's got to be there. Because it was all packed in the box. I saw it with the speakers that were sitting there.
Yeah, and I had Dana take all the stuff back down, and he's like, I didn't have that box, so I don't know. I'll find out what it's going to cost me.
No, well, that's crazy. That's crazy. I know I didn't take it because I had my thing, and I only brought it on Wednesday. On Thursday, yours was so good that I said, shoot, I don't need to bring mine anymore. So yours was going on.
Well, that was for the size of the pitch that we had. That PA system reached all the way down to the other side, so it was good that the racers could hear music during the day in between races. They could hear grid calls. I mean, it was
awesome.
Good.
It was awesome, dude. And I'm telling you, it was really, really cool. Can you hang with us? I got to get a couple ads in here, so don't go anywhere. We're going to get a couple ads in here, and don't go anywhere. Racing. It's preparation. It's focus. It's attention to detail. And when you try to take shortcuts, it shows. At Speed City, Southern Oregon's karting headquarters, distributor for Ultramax, Legend, QRC, Bell helmets, and K1 race gear, they don't roll like that. Speed City is committed to roll the way champions roll by keeping racers on track with knowledge, integrity, and performance. No shortcuts, no negativity, no other motives. You don't just have their word on it, you've got their name on it. So get back to having fun and get to calling Speed City. Speed City, LLC, keeping racers on track with quality service and friendship. 541-531-1222. The three most expensive things you'll do in your life are buy a house, educate your kids, and go racing. What you don't need is another expense, and that's why you take your car and tow rigs to TruTech Automotive to ensure that they are maintained and repaired the right way with the right parts at the right price. And how's this for right? Extended to all racers is the In the Family 25% discount off of all preventative maintenance and repair labor. All you have to do is use the discount code NWRR to save. Now that's right. Get it done the right way, the TruTech way. TruTech Automotive, 6900 Northeast Highway 99, Hazeldale, Washington. 360-571-2302. Our guest is Aaron Stanford, and he is the head of the Road Race Grandnationals for 2017. It had been 3 years or more since there had been a Road Race Grandnational. Is that correct?
4 years.
4 years.
Nicely
2013
done.
was the last one.
Wow.
You made it look
So
effortlessly.
you did. You made it look effortless. I mean, it was awesome.
Well, I'm glad I made it look effortless because, boy, it was a job and a half. And to try and race at the same time.
You weren't sweating, was you, Aaron?
Well, now, how did you do overall yourself? I mean, is it harder to go racing when you're trying to be the race director of a road race Grand National than it would be than if you were just racing?
It's it's definitely difficult. I was
Definitely a challenge, huh?
from the standpoint that I'm used to being up front, but I won the 250 pro race that we did on Tuesday, and then I got 2 second-place finishes and 2 fourth-place finishes throughout the week. But when I look back, I didn't really work on my go-kart at all. I take it back. My son changed the gear for me once. I changed the spark plugs, and all my tires were mounted on wheels. So I just changed wheels, and that was the extent of my working on my go-kart. So to get 2 seconds and 2/4, I can't really complain.
Wow. That's pretty awesome, really. Now you also had a spark plug where you pulled the top cap off, the part that you screw on, the threaded part, and you pulled the whole thing out of the porcelain and everything. What was going on with that?
It's a brisk plug, and I guess they're not designed to run very, very long at all. And it actually broke out of the porcelain, and I couldn't figure out why it kept cutting out. And then when I went through tech, I went to put the spark plug back in and realized it was gone. But just threw a new plug in, and away it went. It ran just fine.
Wow, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So in the mix of me racing, Brittany ended up with a second and a fourth, and then my son Josh ended up with the fifth place in the one class that he raced.
Right, now he had chain issues on Friday, right?
Yeah, his first race, the chain flew off on the first lap coming down the hill.
Ay.
But then he went back out, he went out in his next race and finished fifth.
That's awesome.
In the Formula 125 class. So he went and ran a Formula class with a stock Honda and a KZ class that I run.
Wow.
TMs and stuff, and he still finished fifth.
Wow. That's pretty impressive, dude.
Yeah.
So what does that lead for next year, Aaron? I mean, here's what I know, dude. Here's what I know is I want to get with you. I want to get some stuff on the show that promotes road racing. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. I look back at this, and I was telling the guys here, we don't do enough for you guys. And I want to do a lot more for you guys because I think you guys are you're part of the sport that's a big deal. That's going to get some views. I mean, you don't go 120, 140, 130 miles an hour. And, I mean, until you see one of these go-karts do this, people, you have no idea what you're missing.
It's a whole nother world.
It's a whole nother world is amazingly right. It is a whole nother world. Until you've been a $120, $130, $140 in a supercard or a 125 or even a tag. I mean, what were the tags doing?
I think Britt's top speed on her tag was like 105, 106.
And even the 206s like Greg Normandin and Brian Green, I mean, they told me they were 80 plus miles an hour.
Well, Case and Lyle on his junior tag was still hitting 95 down the straightaway. And that's a 13-year-old kid.
Can you believe that, Libby? You tell me.
Man, faster than I want to go.
Well, no, it isn't.
Well, maybe.
You think Lippy can handle it, Aaron?
He can handle it. Just don't let him see the actual speed on the steering wheel.
Attaboy. There you go.
Yeah.
Just leave the gauge off, and then he'll do it, and come back and he untape it, and he'll be like, holy crap.
Dangle a beer in front of me, and I got it.
Hey, how about Daniel Beard? That guy ran pretty good for his first time in a Grand National.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a whole lot of guys there. I talked to Critchley, who didn't have the best of days there, but they got tied up in that traffic coming down, from Seattle on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But still, man, you gotta be just tickled silly by the way everything turned out to go.
Well, we had, the actual event itself, I can't be more proud of. Some of the people's travels getting to the event were pretty extravagant. Sydney Daniels came from Ohio, 30-foot motorhome, 30-foot trailer, got to Idaho and had water pump pulleys go bad on his motorhome. He left the motorhome in a rest area, hitched a ride from a trucker into Spokane, rented a U-Haul truck, went back to the rest area, unhooked the motorhome, hooked the trailer up to the truck, and continued on to the race.
Can you believe that, Lippy? Jeff, now you tell me. You chime in on this one.
What? Hey, that's a racer.
Damn.
That is a racer. They're going to get there.
He left the motorhome in a rest area, until after the Grand Nationals. And him and Dean Martin drove back to Idaho, fixed it. He hooked up the motorhome to the trailer and went home. Dean took the rental truck back to Spokane, dropped it off for him, and hopped on a plane and flew back to Michigan.
You tell me, people. You tell me.
Yeah, that's commitment. Right there.
That doesn't get any more cooler than that.
For sure.
Sydney said he had no option because he had Dean Martin's cart in his trailer. He had Andy Kiker flying from New Jersey to drive one of his go-karts. So giving up wasn't an option. He had to go. Now, Jason Lorang, who came from Michigan, who drove the 40 hours to the race, brought his Harley with him. So when the Grand Nationals was done and he got done sweeping up the 3 or 4 Duffys, the Troy Ruttman Award he got, he left, went to South Dakota, and he's at Sturgis right now with his Harley.
Oh, my God. That is so cool.
Round trip?
Yeah, well, you're making the trip count.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder why he had a Harley in his trailer, and then I sent him a message today. I'm like, what's up, homie? He's like, in Sturgis at the rally. I'm like, no.
I mean, yeah. Now, Daryl Kelsel said that is determination.
Yeah.
You tell me.
There you go.
That is plain and simple doing it for the sport. I mean,
For sure.
Everyone loved how it went. So it's kind of funny. I got an email today from IKF saying that they're accepting the Grand National bids for next year. My wife is like, you did not reply, did you?
Just let it ride, buddy. Let
that
it
is
ride.
so awesome. Are you gonna bid? I hope to God you do.
Take your time.
I'm not.
Take your time.
You're not gonna bid.
I'm not going to bid. I don't want to. You don't want to build like a Grand National this year and then turn around and have it at the same place next year, because then people are like, well, I went last year. It's not going to be that big of a deal to go this year.
Well, what about Portland? Would you do it at a different track?
It would have to be a track that people would want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think that is?
Yep.
Could that be Grass Valley? Is Grass Valley one that a national could be held at?
Miller Motorsports Park in Utah?
Yes.
They'll go to that.
They'll go to that.
They will.
What about Grass Valley? You don't think that's a setup?
There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Where's the hotel? 35 miles away. And I wouldn't really call them hotels.
What about Sumas?
I mean, you got to go back down to the Biggs Junction to have McDonald's, Subway, the 2 fly motels that they have down there. I wouldn't want people to drive that way to go to a track that's in the middle of nowhere.
Wait a minute.
But is the track itself worthy of holding a Grand National?
That doesn't.
I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it. It
It's
doesn't
a big
matter.
sprint track.
But Shelton
big sprint
doesn't
track.
have all that, so I don't know.
Shelton is one exit away from everything. You can leave Shelton, go back up to the road, go back. You got Walmart, Fred Meyer, Safeway. Everything's right there.
I suppose
You
you're right.
do. He
You're
is right
Yep,
because
yep.
you do. There's a McDonald's. There's
2 exits away is a casino.
There's
so
there's
there.
a Jack in the Box. There's everything there.
So you have the casino that's 15 minutes away. So that's a nice resort as it is. You got trailer parking and camping if you need there at the casino. You got the hotel. I have not stayed there, but every room that I've booked for people, they've enjoyed it. They've loved it. So the kids have fun in the pool.
What about Aaron? So what about Portland? Is that something that could viably maybe be a deal for the Road Race Grand Nationals next year?
I think Portland is a fast-flowing track, but not real technical, and wouldn't draw a big crowd.
Okay.
So it'd be like the Ridge, but we just had it there. So Miller Motorsports Park, you could find some other tracks. You could do, like if you did Thunderhill East, you could probably draw a good crowd to that because that's a fun technical track, and it's pretty big.
It says, Ronnie Swire says, Utah is much more central. Would be a great facility to host a race at that
So
rate.
in Mid-Ohio.
Yes, absolutely. So let me ask you, if I brought Jeff Eden, the loader, and Lippy, the president, could we get them road racing maybe somehow?
Not a problem.
Oh, yeah, baby. We just got to have you guys show up. Jeff, would you give it a shot?
They can sit up or lay down. We can hook them up in either one.
I'm not laying down. No way. I was overlooking at one of them things, and I'm going, my neck don't even go that far down.
Yeah, I don't know that I could lay down. I would try a sit-up once. I've never tried it, but I imagine it's got to be something to behold.
I'll try.
Travis
anything.
Henson raced an 80 lay down at the Grandnationals.
And how did he end up?
I think he finished second or no, he finished. Oh, what did he do? Third or fourth? I can't remember.
That's all right.
Him and Brittany were battling. Him and Brittany were battling together for quite a while.
Right on.
No, I lay down. The only time I lay down, that's to go to sleep.
Aaron Stanford, I got to tell you, man, you're the man. I mean, to take on this kind of a task is monumental, and you've done it.
It wasn't just me. It took the support of my wife. There was no way I'm taking this car all on my own.
Oh no, and we know that. I mean, your wife is a jewel. But I mean, what's next for the Puget Sound Road Race Association? I mean, we need to get together so we can hook up, so we can do more for road race. I definitely want. And would you guys agree?
Oh yeah, very much. So. We're here for all the racing.
Yeah,
we're here for everything.
We want to do more to help the road race, the bunch, and so. You need to let us know what we need to do, and we're all over it.
Well, all right. Well, I'm working. My next step, I've actually already been emailing people for track dates for next year. I'm trying to get Puget Sound Road Race Association back to Pacific Raceways, SIR.
Oh.
That would be cool. That would be really
We haven't
cool.
been there, and we haven't been there for quite a few years. So, and there's enough new people in the karting that haven't been there, so it should make for a good turnout.
Absolutely. And, you know, an intern, Aaron, for the rides on the road race stuff, we're going to get you hooked up with some speedway stuff so you can try the dirt once.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that didn't sound too enthusiastic too much, but
like I said, I'll try anything once.
I would love to have you try it. I think you will love it, and you'd be a super spokesman for it too as well.
I got a KT for Salem anytime you want to make a lap.
Yeah, there you go, Aaron.
All
right. There you go. There you go, baby. So we got Aaron Stanford coming out. I'm gonna hook him up. I'm gonna maybe at the Boop.
Anytime he wants to, I can put him in a KT.
Aaron, you need to come out the 26th to the Boop. Come on out.
26.
Yeah, that's a Saturday.
26. That's at ORV out there by Elma.
Right by the road race track.
So I've been up. Yeah, 26th of this month.
Yes.
We got a road race in Spokane.
All right.
Well, shoot.
I got dibs on the winner then. I'm going to get you in something.
Yeah, we'll get you in something.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right. That sounds cool.
Sweet.
Man, thanks for being on the show. We appreciate you, buddy.
Not a problem. Thank you, guys.
All right, man. Talk to you soon, Aaron.
Take it easy.
Okay, bye-bye.
Right. Bye.
Well, your mic broke.
Well, at least fell down on him.
Whoa, I caught it, though.
You did?
He did catch it. I didn't hear a big crash. That's amazing. Anything for the show.
Anything for I didn't have double checker flag. Otherwise, I'd been laying on the ground.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Ronnie Swires, Brian Williamson, Kevin Bridges, Dave Chisholm. Yeah, for sure. Daryl Kelso, some of our biggest fans as far as who else was P1?
Daniel Watkins.
Yeah.
Was,
Daniel Watkins. What a guy. Brent Meyer. I got to spend some time with his wife and his family up there this weekend at South Sound, and it was awesome.
Good people.
Please say a prayer for Mike Michelson and his girl, Carrie Marie.
Yep.
Please.
They deserve it.
Every night when you go to bed, keep them in your prayers.
Let's just, I know a couple more that are fighting cancer. Let's just eradicate it.
Let's just eradicate it.
That's it.
I like that.
The Northwest Race Report is eradicated. And for those of you that saw my post, that I posted well before I learned a huge lesson. You never leave before it's over. I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't know what else to say other than I blew it. Okay? I did. I blew it. Spread the word. Tell everybody you know. I blew it. I made a mistake. It won't happen again. I guarantee it.
But we learn from our mistakes.
We do learn from our mistakes.
Thank you for that.
Rabbit ears.
Rabbit ears. So, no, I just want to put a shout out. You know, we have our race out at Rainier coming up on Saturday. It's the UAS race out there, and we're throwing the Yamaha and Predator class is also going to be running out there. So we're going to have 3 classes. We're going to run our own go-kart show in the morning. So come on out. Racing is going to start at 10.
Hey, Lippy.
Yes.
Mention the hour without power.
I am going to be coming up on that shortly after this, but I want to get everybody out to Rainier on the, what is it, going to be the 19th? That we're going to be out there for the UAS is going to have their class out there. We're going to have the Yamaha class out there. We're going to have the Predator class out there. We're going to run it just like a regular CKA show. We're going to have practice. We're going to have 2 heats and a main just like we normally do. So come on out. It's going to start at 10. We're going to be done by 1:30 at the latest. And we're going to go, after that, you can go in and support the motorcycle show and race all over again in their classes if you'd like to. And then we're going to have the Power Hour Without Power. And this is going to be after our last race in September 16th. It's going to be a Predator class. We're running an hour long, okay? And we're not taking a break. Yellows count. We're going to have a designated pit area. If you want to pull off and change drivers, that's strictly up to you. The person with the most laps at the end of the day, as long as you have a receiver on, whoever's got the most laps at the end of the day.
Oh, Jeff.
So it's going to be 1 hour long plus 2 laps, okay? So once we hit the 1 hour mark, we're going to have 2 laps after that. It is going to be a little bit tricky on the start. We haven't figured that out. We might do where you run to the car and jump in.
Ooh, like Le Mans style?
Le Mans style.
Oh, my goodness. How cool
So
would that be?
Everybody's going to be off the track up against the fence. The people are going to run down off of the track and get into their cart, get fired up, get out onto the track. It's 1 hour long. We don't care how you do it.
Oh, Jeffrey.
It's 1 hour. It's $25 to enter the class. You can spend an hour out there. Or
Can you run a
share
flathead
it.
in that?
It's going to be Predator only just to make it easy. It has to be a stock Predator.
I'll go get a Predator, Jeff.
Just to make it happen. It's going to be fun. I'm telling you, people.
I need a cart. Anybody I'll go get a motor.
We've got
If I can
special
get a cart,
awards
I'll go
coming
get a
up for
motor.
this. We've got special checks printed up for this. We've got T-shirts coming. It's going to be a big deal. It's going to be after our last race. After racing's all done, we want it to be for fun. It's all about fun. Only taking 20 entries. You have to send your checks in to the address that's on the website that I believe KB has already put up.
I'm getting. Hey, how about Speed City? Not Speed City, but how about we'll go with the come on, help me out here. You're leaving me hanging.
You are hanging. So we
I'm
gonna
hanging.
do with
True Tech. We got to get True Tech. I'm gonna borrow Mikey Clark's cart. We're gonna put a motor on it.
Ooh, Mikey didn't have a good weekend last weekend. They had to send it out to get it fixed.
Well, but still,
It's all been up.
I'm talking his go kart,
Oh.
not his dwarf cart.
Oh.
I have a Predator cart. We don't need to put anything together. If we want to put something together, we have a Predator cart.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
It's already set up. It's already ready to go. It's got a decent motor in it. So
We'd have to swap drivers. Can we do that quickly?
I will be drinking, so I won't be able to be a driver. But
Well,
if
Jeff?
you two want to do that, I'm good with that.
You would sponsor us for that?
It's all there.
It's there. We're in. Jeff?
I hope the motor's big enough to pull this fat boy.
It's
We're
1
in.
hour, man.
We're in. Aaron Stanford, you better stay tuned because we may be calling you to be a driver. So come on down, baby. Oh, you won't be. You'll be in Spokane. You can't do that. Dang it.
It's coming, folks.
I'm in. I'm in, Jeff. Are you in?
Oh, Yeah.
Okay,
I guess.
I'm in. I'm going to get my wife there. It's going to be an epic event. Did I say epic? Yes, I did, Ronnie Cox. I said epic, and that's the way it is. We'll be back next week with a regular show. This was Speedway Stout talking. So we love you. Have a good week. We'll see you next week, next Wednesday right here. Oh, Jeff and I are going to be here Monday night for Late Model Monday. We got some cool stuff coming from State Line. Lippy, if you can make it, come on down. We'd love to have you sit in for a Late Model Monday. All right, we're out. We love you. If somebody's on the bottom, please
Go to the high side.
go to the high side. We're out.
Hit her hard.
We love you.